Druk Karuna Mandala. Hello everybody, welcome to Chua Pegoda, Phuto province, Vietnam. This pagoda is newly built and associated with the Drukpa sect of Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. This pagoda has a name, Druk Karuna Mandala. That means Druk means dragon and Karuna means compassion and Mandala means the center of universe. This very name of pagoda was given by none other than the 12th Gelwang Drukpa, the head of Drukpa Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. This pagoda is, as you can see, designed as a stupa. It has 4 stories and it is a combination of Tibetan design and Vietnamese design. On the very ground floor you can have a prayer hall with the 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, the compassion Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. On the second floor or on the second story, there is also a prayer hall with the statues of Buddha, Vairochana, Guru Padma Sambhava, Thara, and others. On the third floor, we have Lama Lakang. That means the temple or shrine of the lineage masters. The main statue is the Vajradhara and Tilopa, Naropa, and the statues of the reincarnations of Gelwang Drukpas. On very top of the stupa, we have the aspect of Dharmakaya, that means absolute body of all the Buddhas. You can see there the pillar or golden pillar, in Tibetan we call Sokshin, and the crystal stone which is quite big enough. The stupa itself is circled by the rooms for monks and rooms for the lamas and a kitchen, so on. And the passage between the temple or stupa and the outer compound, you can circumambulate or circle, and on the left and right of the temple we have dragon stairs, and as you can now going to see the dragon stairs to go upstairs and get audience of the upper floors. The meaning of circumambulating the temple or monastery means to accumulate many good merits, virtues, or you can work meditatively. That means work meditation. As you can see now, I am circling the temple or just walk alongside the temple and enjoying my work, or I'm at the same time meditating. So this structure or this passage is really the structure of Buddhist compounds. Just some time ago, it has rained and the compound is cleansed with rainwater. As you can see, when I walk by, you can see the water on the ground or wet surface of the floor. So it's very refreshing and feeling good. When I walked by, I met these two residential lamas. One of the monk or lama called Druk and the other one called Jime Chunjurla. Drupin Ngawanla or Drupin Ngawan was welcoming me, as well as Jime Chunjurla welcoming me to their monastery or pagoda. When I asked them whether they feel happy here, and their answer was very simple. They told me, with the bless of the root master or the lineage masters, they are very happy. Both of them once went in retreat for 3 years or more and perfected in the practice of 6 yogas of Naropas, and they have passed many of these examinations, and now they are as a master presented in this very pagoda. After a while talking with them, they invited me into the first floor, the shrine of Avalokiteshvara. As you can see now, the thousand arms and thousand eyes of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. He represents the universal compassion, or the compassionate aspect of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The master of Pegoda, Ngawantengela, explained me the usage of this hall on the new moon and on the full moon. They will held here the practice of Nyungne, or fasting practice of Avalokiteshvara, which means you are without food, without drinks for one day, and for one day you have drinks and something to eat for breakfast. So it makes one pair. So every month they do this practice in this pagoda. The master further explained the Nyungne practice or fasting practice is the very practice of his Vietnamese students, and his Vietnamese students are very devoted to this fasting practice, and they sincerely practice 1 or 2 times in each month. During the COVID time, they couldn't continue this practice, but now they are going to continue it, and they are very happy. This Nyungne practice is actually meant for the lay people. If lay people practice this, or ordained monks or nuns practice this, it has a lot of benefits, especially for the lay people. On the daily basis, they practice in the morning Tara ritual or Tara sadhana. Sometime when people dies, they practice Shingdrup ritual, Shingdrup ceremony. That means the practice of Amitabha Buddha to be born in pure land of Amitabha Buddha. This very text is actually written by the great yogi and master Shakyashiri. As we have seen on the ceilings, there are many colorful symbols or round symbols having flowers and other patterns. And this very pattern of the art or colorful coloring is none other than the Drupakayu tradition of painting. When the residential master Ngawatengela asked me how do I feel here and what is your opinion about this pagoda or monastery, I explained simply, this type of monastery or pagoda having in Vietnam is very nice and very good for the all sentient beings in general. In particular, it is very beneficial for the Vietnamese people and Vietnamese followers or disciples who follow Buddhism. And this is actually a small contribution from the Himalayan Buddhist culture to the outside world. For example, right now for the Vietnamese or Vietnam. And here, this very temple or pagoda is following the Druk lineage of Kagyu lineages, and that means we, the Drukpa lineage, contributing something for this very country, which does not mean that we are doing better than other Kagyu lineages. That means simply we are just contributing from the side of Himalayan Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism to them. I further explained I was actually quite inspired by what they are doing here. That means Nyungne practice and so on, which is actually very beneficial for all sentient beings. Actually, the decorating the temple or main shrine or inner walls and ceilings can be very inspirational for many people, or it can awaken your mind, or it can attract you, as you can see in this hall, and it can be very attractive for Vietnamese, as Vietnamese people love this kind of design of very Himalayan traditional painting. After the down floor exploration, we are now going for Kora, that means circumambulating the monastery and going to explore other stories. Now we have reached the second floor. While we were passing by, we saw this beautiful metal or copper or golden colored 8 lucky symbols on the wall, and many more beautiful symbols like this 4 animal, the symbol for friendship, and also some Buddha or 5 Buddha families. And the residential Lama or Master Tengela was explaining me how it was designed. On the 4 corners we can have 4 stupas, and that means on the second floor we have 4 stupas as well. In total, we have 8 stupas of Buddhas. As you can see now, the rooms for the lamas and for monks, the victorious stupa of Namgyalma, the victory over the demons. The plan and the measurement of this stupa was done by Lama Tingela himself, according to the advice of the great Kyawan Dupa, and also Lama Jimela also supported in this work as well. As you pass by the corridor, you can see again 8 lucky symbols and the symbol of long life, this old man's carving. On top of that, you can see 7 precious possessions of palatial lifestyle. The 4 guardians of the cosmic directions. As we pass by, we can see the bell. We can see also the other rest of the stupas. And now Lama Ngawan Tingela is explaining me the logo of Drupa Kagyu lineage and the name of this very monastery. This monastery name Karuna Mandala was given by the 12th Gyalwang Drupa, and this the upper part of the gate has been filled up with the different precious vases and mantras to purification whoever enters this gate. And on the 2nd floor, the 4 stupas. On the 3rd floor, plus 4, and that makes 8 stupas. During the visit of the 12th Gyalwang Drupa, this monastery compound and this monastery's premises will be filled with a lot of devotees, and so. And right now we can see the Buddha descending from heavenly realm stupa. It has some stairs on it as a structure. On top of this stupa, there is a symbol of solar and lunar sun and moon disk, and this sun is completely made round, which is according to the advice of the great master Gyalwang Drupa. And some distance away from this monastery, there is also a newly built stupa which resembles the Baudhanath stupa, which has also the same solar round shaped. Now we are going to enter the 2nd floor shrine or prayer hall, which is the main prayer hall of this monastery. Inside this prayer hall, we can have the statue of Buddha Bairochana and other statues like Guru Padma Sambhava.
Jagar Benjamin Lavani Manjone, Pula Bedon, Tadalum, Silicon, Ujerimbo Jalazo, the
As you can see now, the statue of Tara, statue of the great master Padmakarpo, the fourth Gyalwang Drukpa, and the statue of Naropa is presence in this hall, and the throne of the Gyalwang Drukpa. Lamang Tengela again explaining me who are these statues. At the center of these statues, there is a Buddha Berochana, the main 5 Buddha families, and outwardly on the 4 directional gates, on top of those gates, the rest of 4 Buddhas, and the throne of the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa. And this statue is completely made out of pure copper in Vietnam. And the Naropa, actually, the statue is the copy of the main statue in She town in Ladakh, India. There is a Naro Potang or Naro Palace in which there is Naro Pass statue is placed. He explains further the Vietnamese Buddhist devotees in this monastery in the morning mainly practice Thara sadhana or Thara ceremony, which is called Saptik in Tibetan language. Next year is the rabbit year, which is the obstacle year for the Gyalwang Drukpa according to the Tibetan astrological lunar calendar. In order to drive away this obstacle year for the Gyalwang Drukpa, around 70 devotees each month, 2 Sundays in this very monastery, they practices Thara sadhana. 2 Sundays in 1 month, they practices Thara sadhana in Hanoi city. Sometime in this monastery, the lamas leading the practices like fire offering, which is very usual practice for Vietnamese people, and they know very well this kind of practices, and they have this kind of fire offering in their daily life, so it makes them easy to lead such kind of fire offering practices. For example, they used to practice Sangbe Tashirekong, a very special fire offering. The sadhana was composed by the great scholar and yogi, the 4th Gyalwang Drukpa, and sometime they also used to practice Rivo Sangchu. Rivo Sangchu is a brief sang offering composed by one of the Nyingma Lama or Tertun or treasure revealer. The Vietnamese devotees here already received the Drupaka Yu preliminary teachings or practices from Gyalwang Drukpa, Khamtu Rinpoche and Thukse Rinpoche. So they sincerely, devotedly practicing this Ngondro practice. This statue of Manjushri is made out of wood, the wood which is available in Vietnam, special kind of wood, and on the face of Manjushri is gold painted. In this monastery, Gyalwang Drukpa composed a short sadhana of Manjushri, and the Gyalwang Drukpa gave the Vietnamese devotees the initiation and the transmission of the deity Manjushri. As you can see, the main statue of this shrine is Vairochana, Buddha Vairochana. And the Lamala explains further. Normally, Tibetan monasteries used to have on the walls the paintings of Guru Padma Sambhavas or lineage masters or the life history of Buddha himself, etc. But here we can have, or we can see the Buddha statues and Guru Padma Sambhava statues because the head of this monastery, the Lama, deliberately thought and built these statues on the walls. This is the Lama who was the disciple of Drukpa Kagyu Tenzin Thundup Rinpoche, and here you can see Padma Karpo, the great scholar and master of Drukpa Kagyu lineage, the fourth Gyalwang Drukpa, and again here you can see the head of this Lama. Unfortunately, he had already passed away. This statue is the master who gave ordination vows and so on to the head of this monastery, monk Minduk. This particular statue is Kuan Yin holding a baby on her lap. Vietnamese devotees come here for praying in order to get pregnant, child to be born, if they haven't have any child, etc. Actually, this version of Kuan Yin statue is actually the Vietnamese style and Vietnamese way of making the Kuan Yin statue with the baby. And in Tibetan Buddhism we have similar statue. We call her Mapuzema. Mapuzema means a mother who gives birth to a child. So Lamala explains they actually pray for those who haven't have any children, even they are married and they are suffering from without children. And this statue is also filled with mantras or zung, we call it, like the soul of the statue, and fully blessed and consecrated by the lamas. Here we have the statue of Green Tara. Green Tara is the symbol of the mother of all Buddhas, or the activity aspects of Buddha, and in front of her you can see also offering table. The inside view of the monastery, it's very well and beautifully decorated with the beautiful paintings. As you can see now, the 8 lucky symbols and the 8 auspicious substances, offerings, so on. And actually, according to the guidance of the Gyalwang Drukpa, they painted the ceilings. The main artist of this painting was invited from Bhutan, and the monks from Darjeeling Dali Monastery, Thupten Sangha Chuling, when Sevang Nurpo and his brother Chambala, and also Jimela himself, the residential Lama here, helped to build and painted these ceilings. Here you can see the Tara Mandala, made out of sand colors, colorful sands. Normally, after the ceremony, monks will clean this mandala, but here we haven't cleaned this up, or we kept this mandala. Before the COVID, His Eminence Kamdul Rinpoche came here, and they had big Drukchen, or big ceremony of Tara, and also they had the Doma Yundok practice, means driving away the obstacles. In this prayer hall, they usually practice Tara Sadhana in the morning, and on the 10th of the lunar calendar, they practice Guru Padma Sambhava ritual, and on the Dakini, the 25th of lunar calendar, they also offer the Dakini Gana Chakra. Now we are at the 3rd floor, and as you can see, the lotus carvings, we call it Pepung Chutin. Pepung means the heap of lotus, and this is also the temple of the lineage masters. We call it Lamalhavan. And also the Sambhogakaya aspect. On top of it, we have the vase form of the stupa, or the round form, and that is actually the Dhammakaya aspect of Buddha's body. Now we are going to see inside, and from here we can see the temple of Guru Padma Sambhava, built nicely, and inside we have the copper statue of Guru Padma Sambhava, nicely painted, so on. And it's on the other side, let's say on the right side of the temple itself. So you have to go there and you have to climb the stairs, and then you can reach there. You can also circumambulate around it, and the nice view from here. You can see the other part of the city on the other side, the city of this place. Now we are going to enter into the Lamalagang, the temple of lineage masters. Now you can see the old lineage masters, and Lamala explains the main statue of this is the Vajradhara in the in the form of Sambhogakaya. Sambhogakaya means perfectionate body of the Buddha, with all these ornaments, so on, and tilo and naro, right and left, and underneath we can see all other lineage masters of Drupakaju, the reincarnations of Gyalwang Drupa, first to 11th. And you can see here the masters or reincarnations of Gyalwang Drupa. This is the fourth Gyalwang Drupa, Padmakabo. Padmakabo is the scholar and yogi or Mahasiddha who accomplished complete the philosophical text and knowledge of Tibetan Buddhism, and also accomplished the practice of 6 Naro Yogas and Mahamudra. And you can see further all other statues. Now in this line you can see the Gyalwang Drupa, the first Gyalwang Drupa, the Lingchen Reba on the right, and you can see here the Tsangpa Gyere, the first Gyalwang Drupa with the big eyes. And on the side you can also see the second Gyalwang Drupa, Gyalwang Kunga Paljor, and so on. Here we have also the third Gyalwang Drupa, and yes, it is lined up. The lamas, or let's say the lineage masters, are really well, let's say, carved and built here in Vietnam. And again we are going to look carefully one by one. You can differentiate one lama from other from their gestures and the face impressions. As you can see here, Shakyashiri, the great yogi Mahasiddha Shakyashiri, in the late 18th century, and here you can see Tukse Rinpoche, His Eminence Tukse Rinpoche, who had found the Dali Monastery Tupin Sangachuling in Darjeeling. And on this balcony you can see one statue here who is the Tulshik Pema Chogyal of Ladakh, the yogi and the master who really accomplished in all the Drupakaju practices, and he had a lot of students. And Vajrasattva, Avalokiteshvara, all these are in the perfectionate form of Buddha. And on the ceiling, a wheel of Dharma, beautifully painted. So in this temple, mainly the Sambhogakaya aspect of Buddha is stationed in order to reflect, or let's say in order to present the aspect of perfectionate Buddha's body. The view from the third floor, as you can see, a river. Now we are going to the fourth floor. Now we are on the topmost floor of the monastery. We can see a stupa. On the four corners we have four stupas, and now what we're going to see is enlightenment stupa. It has a square shape on the bottom. On top of that, one vase and cylinder shape pyramid, and this is so called enlightenment stupa. Aftermath of Buddha's enlightenment, this stupa was built, and which is explained by Lama Ngawtengye, and that one is stack of lotus stupa, and this one is victorious stupa, which has also a special shape and form. And now we have seen the Buddhist flag, and now we can see the Vietnamese national flag. So let's go and to see inside the vase form of the topmost floor. Here we can see only one pillar, and this pillar is so called Sokshin. Sokshin means the main central part of the stupa. So on this Sokshin or pillar, they have written mantras like Om Ayushya Soha and Om Hung Tam Shriha. So these are the Buddha's essence mantras, and as you can see, this symbolizes the Dhammakaya body aspect of Dhammakaya body aspect of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Let's say all Buddhas. That's why there's no any stupas, and on the both sides, right and left, you can see also this crystal shaped or crystal, really crystal rock. You can see it's it symbolizes also the Chuku, or let's say Dhammakaya, or absolute body of the Buddha. So it represents the Dhammakaya aspect of Buddha, and some offerings in front of it, you can see. So this kind of decoration you can find everywhere, offering table and so on. The main interesting thing in this shrine is the pillar and gold plated let's say design, and offering dakinis on it. So as Lamangawan Tengela explains, right now they haven't finished yet completely this part of the vase form stupa. Here comes also one big window, or let's say glass window. Here it's pretty windy and cool, or cooler than the other floors, because it's very high. You can see here the Buddhist flag, and the sky is quite cloudy today. And yeah, you can also hear the traffic sounds here very clearly, and the view is quite amazing from here. You can see very far the landscapes. So here you can see the elephant, and on top of elephant the lion, and the man with his horse, and the half fish, half crocodile, and the Garuda. So these are actually typically the Mahayana way of structuring the window frame. Okay, so now almost we have finished our tour in this floor. This is the let's say various door stupa. It has it's called in Tibetan Tashigomang, auspicious various door stupa. And the view is amazing. You can see the river from here. The big river is flowing just behind the monastery itself. According to the explanation by Lamangawan Tenge, on the other side of this river there's a nunnery, nuns monastery, and also a monks monastery. Both are separated from each other. Their main practice is the traditional practice, Vietnamese Buddhist practice, Sutrayana or Mahayana. On top of that, led by Gyalwang Drukpa, or taught by Gyalwang Drukpa, they practice Drupal Khagyu, preliminary practice, as well as Mahamudra practice, and the 6 yogas of Naropas. Since Gyalwang Drukpa's Dharma activity in this country, Vietnam, many devotees, Vietnamese, do follow his steps and his advices, as well as his teachings. And I think this is the only way to establish and promote the Vajrayana Dhamma, or Vajrayana sacred practices of Buddha's teachings, and to keep alive the practical part of Buddha Dhamma. So you can see here the landscapes and river and quite a beautiful place. This place and this monastery you can reach by car and by taxi, whatever you like. 1 hour drive distance from Hanoi. So what I've really special found here is the serenity, or let's say the calmness and the energy of the monastery, and the peaceful nature of this pagoda. So this pagoda is called Kwelam Pagoda, Kwelam Pagoda, or Karuna Mandala in Tibetan. I feel also proud about this stupa or monastery, because this is totally in the form of Tibetan, let's say, monastery building skills and structure, and also a kind of Himalayan form and shape you can find here. So this is a small contribution from our Himalayan Buddhist culture to a country like Vietnam and other Asian countries, so that it can influence the other part of our planet in a positive way, and to prevail peace all over the world, so on. So I'm here very happy to explain you all these, and thank you very much for watching, and like it and subscribe it. Thank you.